What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are checking out 12 things I learned living in Australia as an American point of view. So let's actually see these things, 12 things as well. Don't forget, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's go around to it, see what we got here today.
From the tap basically anywhere, you feel like you're eating a popsicle stick with everything, was crossing the road. The amount of times I almost got hit, all of the outlets have an on and off switch. So I remember I called somebody the first time and I was like, is this busy? Like,
Laura Martin, Australia
hey
edition.
guys, welcome back to the vlog. I feel like I haven't sat and talked with you guys in a while, so I figured I'd do a little sit down today because I've been wanting to film this video basically since I got here, and I still haven't, because I feel like I've kind of been racking up a lot of these things of just things that I've noticed that's different about Australia that I didn't really expect, and I don't remember seeing them in any other videos when I was looking at coming here. So I figured I'd make my own list, and I've kind of been keeping tabs of things the entire time I've been here. Since literally the first time I rode on the bus and going around the city, I just remember I was taking notes of everything that I thought was different. So figured I'd share some of those today. So going off the whole bus thing, first thing I wanted to say is there's lots of roundabouts. There's way more roundabouts here
Lots
than
of roundabouts, okay. That's an interesting thing. Like, I did not expect this, thing, like roundabouts. Okay.
expected. We obviously still have roundabouts in the US, but there's definitely more in Wollongong, and I don't know if that's just specific to Wollongong. The Aussies in the comments have to let me know, because I'm not sure if it's just specific to where I'm at right now or if it's across the country. But I noticed that there's a lot more roundabouts than traffic lights, and I actually think that's a lot more efficient, and it seems to work pretty well. Second one that's really cool is that you can drink the water from the tap basically anywhere. This is not something
Okay, that isn't just in Australia, I believe. I think this is like mostly in most countries you can actually use tap water like as drinking water.
do in the US, especially not in New York. You cannot drink the tap water. Like, kind of upstate where I'm from, you can. I have drinking fountains and things like that, but even sometimes it's still sketchy, and it's definitely not recommended. Because I go to school in Albany, the water there does not taste the same at all. And especially if you're down in New York City, you cannot drink that water. But here in Sydney, when I
Like, have you guys ever tried like drinking water which isn't drinkable? Like, say tap water which isn't drinkable. I mean, it's hard to swallow it, you know? I don't know, it's so much weird than like drinking water. There's a big difference between the two. So that's pretty shocking as well.
visited Sydney, you can drink the water out of the tap and it's perfectly fine. I think that's really weird. And then going off of that as well is the same thing with pollution, because I've lived in Buffalo and Albany, and then I've also visited other cities, and normally at nighttime you can see like the sky is like a red or purple color, and you can't see the stars when you're in a city. You kind of have to drive out of the city to see the stars in the US, at least where I'm from. And here you can see them in Wollongong. You can also see them when you're in Sydney at night, which I also think is really cool. I think that's just
that must be
because
very
Australians tend
beautiful.
to be way more conscious of their environment, which I respect a lot. And then also going off of like the whole environment thing, everybody uses wooden spoons, like these wooden sporks,
Wooden spoons?
for eating utensils. When you go out to eat and like you get takeaway food, you would use wooden utensils. You don't use
Okay, never heard that
plastic.
one before.
They always give you wooden ones, which is sometimes kind of annoying because
Instead of wood, I would say plastic spoons, but wood? That's the first time I'm hearing that.
you feel like you're eating a popsicle stick with everything. So you get that weird texture and weird taste of a popsicle stick, which isn't the best, but I think they do that to try and limit plastic. But then I also think that's funny because all of the to-go containers are plastic. So they use plastic to-go containers, but they use wooden utensils. So it's kind of funny, but this one's kind of funny.
That is true.
When I first got here, I think when people ask me this question, they're like, what was the biggest difference you noticed when you first got to Australia? And I'd say honestly it was the birds. The birds are way louder. They're very squawky and very obnoxiously loud. And
That's
I
an
remember when I was
interesting
walking
fact.
on campus my first week of being here, I think it was a couple days after I'd arrived, I was walking on campus and it sounded like there was a bird that was like a screaming child, and I was like, what the heck was that? I don't even remember what it was, but I just
Well,
I just
imagine
remember
like
being
hearing
very,
a bird, but in reality, wait a minute. A bird that sounds like a child, and then you think it's a child, but it's actually a bird. That's messed up.
surprised by how different the birds were. As loud as they are, they're super beautiful. When you look at them like in the grass or flying around, they're like very brightly colored. They're green and red and blue. There's like all these different types of
Beautiful
birds, and I feel
birds,
like
yeah.
every day I'm still learning new ones. It's kind of this duality of like they're a lot more squawky and obnoxious, but they're also way prettier to look at. Another thing I noticed is that there's a very huge American influence on the media here. So their entertainment, TV shows, music, all of that
Okay.
stuff is pretty much the same as America. I didn't know what to expect when I came here as far as music. I didn't know what they listened to. I didn't know what movies they watched or TV shows they watched. Yeah, I realized that from being here, there's a very big American influence on the culture here as well. So that definitely limited a lot of culture shock because I feel like media kind of makes you feel more at home, if that makes sense. Like watching all the same shows and being able to relate to the same shows and the same characters and same songs and things like that. I feel like that definitely makes it a lot, definitely makes it a lot easier to connect with people, which I found really helpful. Kind of going off of that as well is like TikTok and social media, being able to relate to the same trends and things like that also I think makes it kind of nice because you can all relate to the same things. And I think when you find that one thing that kind of brings you all together, it definitely makes connecting with people a lot easier. So then another one that I thought was interesting that I actually did not expect at all was crossing the road. It's something
Crossing
you
the street.
never think twice about. I have grown up since I was a little kid, you know,
What's
they teach
weird
you to
here?
look both ways before you cross the road. And I don't even remember which way like Americans look. I think we look this way. And then Australians, you have to look this way. Or it's the other way around. I don't even remember.
Are they like? Do they drive the other way around in like Australia? I'm not sure
No,
which
I
way
think they
they
have to
actually
look-
drive, to be honest.
No, I look this way now and then look that way. But then when you're in America, you have to look this way because the cars are because they drive
Like
on the
left
wrong
and
side
then
of the road.
right.
But
Okay.
obviously, I knew that. I was like, okay, I obviously know they drive on the other side of the road. But when you are crossing the street, you naturally look a certain way and then don't.
That's true.
It's just weird. And then the amount of times I almost got hit because I naturally looked the other way.
Okay, that
on
could
the
be
other side of the
dangerous
street
as
to
well,
see the
guys.
cars
Like,
coming.
no
And I'm like, no,
jokes.
the car's coming from this way, and then the car would be
That
coming.
could seriously be
It's the
dangerous.
whole thing. So make sure you're aware of that because I was something I genuinely I didn't expect that at all, but I caught myself doing it several times when I got here. So I'm better now. I look before I cross the street now, but it's just different because it's like a muscle memory thing you aren't even conscious about until you get put somewhere else and it's all opposite. Yeah, I thought that one was
Okay.
kind of funny. Another impression I got when I first got here was that Australia reminds me a lot of California. For those who don't know, I was actually born in California. My mom's from California, so we went back to visit family quite a bit growing up. So I've been to California a decent amount. And I would say that the landscape kind of looks pretty similar. The houses look pretty similar. Australia, I would just say, is more green. California tends to be more brown because they don't get any rain or anything. So that was like a big similarity I noticed. I was like, oh wow, this reminds me a lot of California. And the temperature kind of feels the same as well. Except where I'm at in Australia, it feels a lot more humid than California because California is very dry heat. So it probably depends on where you are though. And then a cool thing about Wollongong, where I'm at right now, Wollongong has a free bus that takes you around the entire city. So everyone can use it. It's accessible to everybody and you kind
Alright.
of learn the bus
Interesting.
stops. It took me a while to kind of get used to. Honestly, it didn't even take me that long. It took me about a week to kind of get the gist of it. It took me a while to learn the stops specifically to remember which stop to get off. But you can just plug in wherever you want to go on Apple Maps and it usually will tell you the time that the bus is coming and when to be at the bus station. So that definitely makes it really helpful. And there's one bus that goes clockwise and then there's one that goes counterclockwise. Or they go anti-clockwise, I think is what they call it. So there's 55A, which is the anti-clockwise, and then 55C, which is clockwise. So that kind of helps you remember it. Yeah, but that's really helpful because I haven't had to pay much for transportation.
Okay, she
at all
lost
if
me
you're
there. She
patient enough to
totally
wait for
lost
the
me.
bus. And obviously it can't take you everywhere you want to go, but it can take you most places around the city. So that's really helpful. Another one I thought was funny. I honestly was trying to figure this one out when I first got here because I didn't know if it was just the people I was around or if it was everyone. But the longer I've been here, the more this has kind of become true. People don't really say bless you, like in the same context that
Oh,
Americans
really?
say bless you. I think Americans will say bless you more, like when you
Yeah.
sneeze. And
Like for
in
me
the
as
middle
well,
of
like
the
always,
bus,
if someone does sneeze, I will always say bless you. Just like an instinct, you know? It's like something your brain is, it happens automatically. I don't know.
Thing, if you sneeze
Not
in the
for
middle
me.
of class, your professor will
Let me
usually
know
say
you
bless
guys
you,
how it works for
or
you
people
guys.
around you will say bless you. It's just weird. Like I just caught myself saying bless you to people, or I would sneeze, and then you expect like at least one person to turn to you and be like bless you, but people didn't. And I think I brought it up to
I was just like sitting there waiting for someone to say bless you.
my roommate, and I was like, do people say bless you? She was like, yeah, but I've just noticed that people don't really say it as much as we do in America. And I thought, at first I was kind of like, it's just not a thing, I guess. So yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting.
Okay.
Oh, this one's also cool. I think I brought this up before, but light switches have an on and off switch. I'll put a clip in kind of showing what I'm talking about, but all of the outlets have an on and off switch. So when you plug something in, you have to physically turn the outlet on, or you have to physically turn it off. And they do that to save energy, which is pretty smart, honestly. And it's funny because because when I tell Australians here that our light switches don't have that in the US,
Wow.
I don't think I've
I'm
ever
actually
seen a
surprised about the US that they don't have switch because here where I'm living as well in Cyprus, we do have switches on the plugs. So I don't know that. That's an interesting fact as well.
light switch that does that. There's just power constantly going to the outlet. They're
Yeah,
like, really? They're like, that's so weird. And it's just
just
weird
a
because I never
waste of
thought about it. Yeah, I
electricity.
think it's to save energy, which is honestly kind of smart. Oh, so this one also caught me by surprise because again, it's just something I never heard anybody talk about before. But the phone dial tone when you call somebody in Australia, it sounds like it sounds like the American busy
Oh, okay.
sound. I'll
I
put
get
a
it.
clip of it in if I can. It sounds like when you call somebody and they're on the phone with somebody else in the US. I don't know if
Yeah,
this is making sense, but yeah,
I
that really threw
understand.
me off because I remember I called somebody the first time and I was like, is this busy? Like I was confused, and then somebody picked up and I was like, what the heck was that? Yeah, and then when I've showed people here what our ringtone sounds like, they're like, what the heck? That sounds weird. So it's just another little thing that I was just like, what the heck? That's so random. So the last one I'm gonna say for this video, and kind of came as a small shock to me, is that there aren't kangaroos and koalas everywhere. That's definitely the impression that Americans think, that there's
Okay, we
kangaroos and
got that
koalas
cleared.
basically crawling about everywhere. And there's not. I've only seen one little tiny kangaroo. I saw Joey jump in front of our car once at nighttime, so I didn't even get to see him very, very well. So I've only seen one kangaroo in all of my time being here so far. I'm hoping that I might have one chance at seeing them, but we will see. I think that's just because of where I'm at in Wollongong,
Yeah, I
because
think that's
more of like a city.
that mainly depends of the area you're living in. Like maybe some areas have a lot of kangaroos, some don't. So that's probably just, you know, the
And you don't really get
location.
kangaroos in cities. So I think it's just because I haven't gone further south, or haven't gone south enough and like in the bush to really see them. But I was sad
Okay.
I didn't see them in the Blue Mountains or anything. Like they're just not out and about as much as they are talked about in media. So that kind of was that was a little disappointing. But I think again that's also just where I live in Australia right now. But the koalas are an endangered species and they are not roaming the trees out and about. Even Australians can only really
Why
see
do I feel like that koalas are more rare than kangaroos? Right? Like harder to find. That's what I feel.
them in the zoo, because they are very endangered. So, but anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for this video.
Wow, that was a pretty interesting video, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you have anything to also add on this video, comment them down below, guys. Join our Discord community, link is below in the description, or like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be seeing you on the next video, guys. Thanks for watching, and peace out.